Welcome to the Weeping City of Mhach. The Weeping City is the new 24-man raid introduced in 3.3, Revenge of the Horde. A lot of people have been struggling with this raid since its release, so I hope to clear things up for a lot of you. I'm Reki, your ghost host, and let's get that nullstone. The first part of the raid is just burning down hordes of trash like usual. There's really nothing special here, and I want to spend time with this guy talking about his bosses, so we'll just get right into it. The first boss is Arachne whatever, and most of this fight is pretty straightforward, just a few mechanics you'll need to learn. After a while, she will go right underground, and you will start to see some ring pattern AoE markers like this. They will start at the center and gradually go out. Stand near the outside of one and quickly move on to it after it's been hit. You will immediately need to run from the marker place as far away as possible to take as little damage as possible. Next, you will see these large green circles spawn over players that will have the same effect as the ones from Sawtooth and Irminsul from the Void Arc. You will also handle them the same way by running through the tethers to break them. At some point, she will fling the entire raid up into a massive web. Try your best to stay on the white parts to avoid getting debuffed. Part of the raid should stay up here to soak orbs and handle adds, while some of the raid should look for a hole in the web and fall through. When down here, you should see a scorpion ad and 3 key knots around the edge. Kite or kill the scorpion, but aim for the key knots to free everyone else on the web to resume the fight. At times throughout the fight, she will mark players with this orange arrow. Marked players should make their way towards the edge of the arena as they will get hit with the sticky AoE that will soon become useful. Every consecutive time she goes underground now, after the AoE happens, the arena will turn into a massive sand whirlpool. During this part, stand on the sticky AoE to avoid getting sucked in and taking excess damage. Rinse and repeat until Arachne is down. The next boss you'll fight is Forgal. This guy has a few mechanics and some adds to handle down, but he isn't all that bad once you know the fight. The first thing you'll notice are these large green circles. Avoid them for now, but you will need them later. After the first round of circles pass, you'll notice some zombies that are quite easily defeated, but they cannot be ignored. Failure to burn them down will result in them exploding, dealing massive raid-wide damage and perhaps a wipe, but burn them down as best as you can. After a while, these red pillars will spawn and players will need to stand in them to decrease the effect of Punishing Ray. He will then cast Brand of the Fallen on one alliance, marking them all. They should stack up to avoid damage and totification. When he casts a big red circle on the ground, you are about to head into the ad phase. Kill the succubus first, making sure to stun her while casting Beguiling Mist to avoid a raid-wide seduce. Watch out for the Summon Hagenti's Mortal Gaze, which will cause doom to any player not looking away, and it cannot be removed. Once the ads are burned down, stack in the center for heals. The last major mechanic you need to worry about is Megadeth. Dave Mustaine will come in shredding a wicked guitar solo that will wipe the entire party. Nah, just kidding, but wouldn't that be cool? Now these green circles become useful. Standing in them will cause zombification, which will protect you from Megadeth. You only need 1 stack to survive it, and if you have too much, you'll begin attacking your team. But that's all there is to Forgal, so let's go deeper into the city. Next, you will be fighting Headstone. This isn't really a boss, but I feel I should go over it because of a few mechanics. The arena is separated into 3 zones. Alliance A should go to the left, Alliance B in the middle, and Alliance C to the right. Alliance B will primarily be responsible for Headstone. As soon as Voidfire spawn to the left and the right, players must go join their alliance to take out their respective adds. If not taken out before they cast Big Burst, the raid will most likely wipe. Afterwards, red buttons appear on each section, which all must be stepped on. Then all players must run to the middle circle to avoid the next attack. Rinse and repeat. Headstone dies rather quicker than the rest of the bosses in this raid. So this next boss is the main reason people struggle with this raid. I've seen countless comments on how this fight is a wipe fest and how a lot of people give up halfway through the fight. That being said, it is a challenge, but this is a strategy that has worked and is quite simple to get used to. If you guys have any other strategies you've used, let me know and I might put them in a separate video later. The arena is a giant ring with 3 rectangles on it. Just like Headstone, Alliance A should go to the left, Alliance B where you start, and Alliance C to the right. Ozma starts off in the sphere form. This is generally known as the safest form. Get up close and personal even if you are ranged. He will target players of each alliance, just one at the start, with Meteor. The first player marked should head to the back of the rectangle they are in, but be careful as you can fall off. Once the Meteor drops, an ad will spawn. Once again, do not ignore these as they have potential to do massive damage. If Ozma turns into his triangle form, immediately leave the rectangle and stand on the outer ring. Ozma will shoot a large laser, then it is safe to head back on. If Ozma forms into a cube, everyone needs to get in close. Tanks should be positioned on the left corner, absorbing a laser and directing it away from the group who is on the other corner. Orbs will now circulate the arena, which either tanks or DPS can absorb. After the first phase, Ozma will return to his sphere form and cast Black Hole, sucking all players into him. This area is a surprisingly really calm DPS check, considering you are inside a black hole on the brink of death. Burn down the first few adds with range stepping on the middle platform, then jump down. Next you will be up against Osmoshade, a fairly easy fight. Just make sure you look out for the move Assimilation, which you should look away from. If not, you will be assimilated and eventually put into a Singularity Gal. These gals work similar to Titan's Granite Gals, just bust others out. It is just helpful if you get as many people as possible to just look away from that move. Meteors will once again drop here, but there are no adds. Just spread. As long as you beat Osmoshade before Doomsday hits, you should have no problem. Step into Osmoshade once it dies to return to the actual fight. The only thing different about this phase from the first phase is that when he casts Meteors, he now casts 2, and 2 adds spawn as a result. One person should still go to the back of the rectangle, while the other one goes to the left or on the center ring. If each Alliance member does this right, you should have it evenly spread out. Rinse and repeat until Ozma is down. The final boss is Calif Asteri, and she is much easier to fight than Ozma. This is the final fight in the raid, and there are a few mechanics to learn, but overall it's not too bad. Once again, if you got through Ozma fine, consider this your break. The biggest thing you need to watch out for is her hair. One of those luscious L'Oreal strands will turn into what appears to be a blade of sorts. Once you see this, you must move to the opposite side of the room from it. She does a large AoE that you cannot avoid unless you pay attention soon enough. Make sure you're also paying attention to this throughout the other mechanics of the fight, as it can just happen at any time. Make sure to avoid these purple circles if you don't want to be caught in this. Her add phase is fairly normal, just burn down all the adds if you don't want to die. In this second part of the fight, plant things that appear to look like axes and hammers will sprout. Get in close to the axe plants to avoid their swing, and stay as far away as possible from the hammers. The hammers will do a close-up AoE that will launch you into the air. She'll then cast a raid-wide move called Penetration. A bunch of hammers will also sprout during this move. If you are looking at her, she will suck you in and you will most likely be hit by at least one. If you are looking out, you will be pushed away and have time to move to a safe spot. She will then cast Depth Charge, a slight jolt forward hitting anyone in her way. Remember to not only dodge this, but to also get on the opposite side of her hairblade, as she tends to use it directly after. All in all, just make sure you stay on the right side of the room and the Nullstone is yours. And there you have it, the Weeping City of Mhach. Once again, I'm sorry if I missed anything, as this raid is pretty mechanic heavy. Hopefully this will at least help you get your first clear. Good luck on your rolls. If you are struggling to get through Sorkai or Hullbreaker hard, you can check out my guides here, and my soon-to-be guides on Nidhogg Normal and Extreme. Thanks everyone for watching, and have fun in the dungeons.